Thank you. Welcome to the July 23rd Nevada Irrigation District Board of Directors meetings. Please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Secretary, please call the roll.
Yes, Division 5,
Here.
Division 4,
Here.
Division 3, Division 2 is absent,
Yes,
Division 1.
here. Right, we have a quorum. Thank you so much. First, we will take public comment on items that are not on the agenda. If anyone in the virtual world or present here in the room would like to speak, you have 3 minutes. Yes, join us, come to the dais, please, and give us your name, and you have 3 minutes. And I will also tell you that this part of the agenda, we are, as board members, are not able to engage with you, any questions or anything.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well, because some people find it frustrating. I'd like to let you know. Okay, thank you.
Good morning. My name's
morning.
Sean Eaton. I live at 15604 Magnolia Road.
Okay,
It's an adjoiner to one of the properties that you bought for the
Mhm.
reservoir. I'd like to have somebody go out, or the board member that serves that district
Mhm.
to like meet me on the property to kind of have a neighborly walk around and look at the state of the property and just answer a few questions. Maybe we can like set up for a forest mulcher to go in and take down some of the vegetation that's been falling in the last 7 or 8 years, and just to have a neighborly conversation.
okay,
So the address of the property is 15536 Magnolia Road,
okay.
and I'm the adjoiner to the north.
Thank you.
The address of your property is 15536 Magnolia. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eaton. Thank you for your comments. Is there any other comments out? Seeing none, we'll end the public comment on items not on the agenda. Moving next to our consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions or would like to pull any items or?
No, I move to accept the consent agenda. Second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Please call the roll.
Division 5,
Yes.
Division 4,
Yes.
Division 3, Division 1.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to general orders, we will first discuss the Nevada Irrigation District status on vacancies, recruitment, and retention efforts, and conduct a public hearing.
This is a new legal requirement that the district is required to do. And essentially, we have to make a presentation on an annual basis prior to the consideration of adoption of the budget of our vacancies. The intent is to address, if you have a vacancy rate over 20%, then we would do a more thorough analysis of what we think is going wrong with recruitment and retention. So Naomi will provide a very brief presentation and answer any questions that you have.
Great, thank you. Hi, Naomi. Thanks for
Morning.
being here this morning.
Good day.
It is.
So Naomi Schmidt, Director of Human Resources. I'm here to talk about our
Naomi, please pull your mic closer so everyone can hear you. Thank you.
better.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm here to talk about AB 2561. This satisfies the obligations of Assembly Bill AB 2561 that are codified in Government Code of the Myers-Mealis-Brown Act. And this law applies to all public agencies that's subject to the MMBA.
Let me get that to go away.
Okay, so one of the things I'm going to talk about is workforce information. Current employee count is 194. Our longest tenure, 35 years. It's our longest employee here. I just wanted to point out a few things. Employees with service over 30 years, we have 3. Employees with service from 25 to 29 years is 11. And our average tenure right now is 10.2 years. I think this is the wrong slides. So So sorry.
In there.
This might have been an old one. But okay, I'm gonna just keep going. Next thing is I was gonna talk about was vacancy information, which is correct. So I had to base this on calendar year 2024 because I didn't want to just do 6/1 to 6/1,
Mhm.
2025.
Makes
So it's
sense.
all from last year. The vacancy rates are, it's pretty good. We based it on 199. That was our budgeted employees for 2024. And our percentage of vacancies was 1.5%. We had, if you look and there's like, it looks like a lot, 5 in the months of June and July, and it's kind of steady across the board. Our positions that took the longest to fill were hydrographer and senior survey technician. And those are really technical positions. So it took a long time to fill, which leads me into why it takes so long to fill. So we have a lot of steps that we have to go through when you post a position. So if it's internal or external, it could take a while. And just thinking about the person leaves their position, sometimes we take a few weeks or a week to decide, are we going to fill it or what's the plan? And then we fly the recruitment, which can take, we maybe sometimes put it out there for 2 weeks or a month, depending on the job. And then calling the candidates, setting up the interviews. And then once we have the interview, then we go into making an offer and then drug test, background check, and then finally start date. So it's not unheard of to have a time to fill day around 30 to 40 and up to 60 days to fill a position. So this is where we have average number of days to fill for our internal candidates was 33. We did 13 internal recruitment last year, which is always great. We like to promote from within. And then we had 11 external or candidates or employees, and it took us an average of 84 days to fill that position. And again, it was a little tough. That included our senior survey tech and our hydrographer, which took some time.
Mhm.
Our retention looks really good. Last year, we had 6 separations, and of those 6, 1 was a job abandonment, and the other 5 went to other public agencies. And with 4 retirees, which was pretty good. And so our overall turnover rate was 5.2%. It's really good. From 2023, we had 10% turnover. In 2022, we had 11.6%, and in 2021, we had 15.5%. So you can see we're really lowered our turnover. In 2020, or right now, oh, so go ahead.
Do we get dinged for retirement? It seems like we get dinged on a percentage here for a retirement.
I mean, I included, I don't know if you,
It's included. I don't know it's necessarily a ding, but in a year that you would potentially have a lot of retirements that would cause you to exceed that 20% threshold, our analysis would simply say we had a number of retirements and, you know, one thing we could maybe approve on is succession planning.
Thank you.
I did the turnover rate just as of July 2025, and we're tracking at 3.1% with 6 separations, 5 voluntary and 1 retirement. That's so far year to date. Our retention rate right now for 2024, 96%. So we started the year with 190. We ended the year of 193. And we, as I said before, hired 11 people during last year. And the number of employees who stayed at NID for the year was 182. And in comparing for the last 2 years, 2023, our retention rate was 88%. And in 2022, it was 90%. So we're still a really good retention rate. So hiring issues, it's just specialized skill set and pay. Like I was saying, the hydrographer and the senior survey tech, it's really hard to find positions or the skills for those positions. We are in our geographical area. It can be tough. Sometimes people are looking down the hill, and we use a lot of recruitment agencies to help us with the specialized positions. That's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, board, it's your time to weigh in, ask questions. Yes.
If I understand correctly, the union is supposed to have feedback or input also on this. Did they have any?
Only if our vacancy rate is more than 20%.
Okay, so otherwise it's.
They're more than welcome to come, but if it's over 20%, then we're required to do a formal invitation for them to.
Mhm.
Okay. And none of this included the temps, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
And that 20% is from year to year
Yeah, it's during the year that I'm reporting, so it would have been for 2024.
from the previous year,
No, it's not in a comparison. It's of your total authorized full-time equivalents and.
which we have 199.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So we have to, if you wanted to lower that number, you would come to us. We would approve or not approve it. I mean, if we ever get into,
Time equivalents are approved through the budgeting process.
Right, yeah.
And if we were going to, sometimes there's reasons why we don't fill positions for whatever the reason is, but that's all handled through the budget process.
Right.
So, President Heck, now we would open the formal public hearing, see if there's any public input and close the public hearing.
Great. Okay, we shall open the public hearing for any comments. Are there any members of the public out in the virtual world that would like to comment? Okay, seeing none, close the public hearing. Very good. I have one question, if I may. Naomi, would you repeat, please, the statistics back, that's 3 years or so that, or back to 2021? You cited, and I wanted to write those down.
Retention statistics like
Yes.
turnover rate.
Yeah.
So our turnover rate for 2023 was 10%.
Mhm,
2022 is 11.6%,
mhm.
and 2021 was 15.5%.
Right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I suspect that has to do with our great management.
Wonderful board.
Thank you.
Another question if I could. There's always the discussion of that we're up here in the foothills, so it's a little harder to recruit. I think it's a draw personally, but that's my own opinion. How do we compare to others as far as retention rate and stuff?
I don't know
I
that
don't know.
answer.
We often lose people to other like agencies, but it is extremely difficult when you get into more of a technical niche type of a position that requires a specific expertise or degree.
Mhm.
It becomes difficult because of how geographically remote we are. If the pay level isn't set at a level that is enticing for somebody to come from the Sacramento area, it's more and more difficult to get because the recruitment pool shrinks.
Right. Rich, anything?
no, I'm impressed with the 96% or
Oh, yeah.
96.9.
So I was curious how.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are doing a
Um,
great job.
Compared to, just 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I mean, that was one of our major
Mhm.
part of the mission strategic plan, get retention up, and I never thought it'd go that high.
Well, and one thing it's largely related to is the addition of the sixth step to the salary schedule.
Mhm.
If you'll recall, most market studies we complete for salary schedules in comparison to other like agencies, we are consistently about 10% lower. And so adding that sixth step allowed for an additional 5% because traditionally most agencies have 7 steps.
So my, my thought was, at the time was, wow, this is going to be a little more of an expense, but compare it to having to go out and replace and replace and replace people. I would think that we're saving quite a bit of money by adding that 6th step.
Yeah, lack of folks in positions as well as ongoing recruitment costs are very challenging, specifically related to more of the technical positions like dam safety engineer. That's a very, very specialized position that requires specialized experience. And so if you don't pay on par with other folks, or even in our case, having to entice them to drive up here, it can be challenging.
Mhm. Right.
And who wants to live in Sacramento anymore?
Well, they have
Who's
more
gonna say that?
affordable housing in some areas. That is one of our big hurdles to recruiting people up here,
Mhm.
is our housing costs and the insurance cost.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yep, it is. So sometimes we have to, increased pay to offset some of those additional expenses. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we receive and file?
It's
No.
adopt the.
Just adopt the
Okay.
vacancy and retention findings. So I'm looking for a motion to adopt the Nevada Irrigation District 2025 vacancy and retention findings.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Division 5,
Yes.
Division 4,
Yes.
Division 3,
Aye.
Division 1.
Yes, thank you very much. Right, thank you, Naomi. Good job, everybody. All right, let's see, I gotta get back to my agenda here. Okay, next, Watershed Department Contractor Expense Approval.
I'll handle this one.
Okay,
Since Mr. Jones is on jury duty. This item is to request approval of a resolution amending the Fund 70 fiscal year 2025 capital budget in the amount of $67,000 and award project contracts for the Upper Yuba Headwaters Forest Restoration Project. As the board will recall, we did receive a grant from Sierra Nevada Conservancy in the amount of 1.274 million. And this is to complete forest work up in the Upper Yuba Headwaters. The purpose of this project will remove approximately small trees from the understory of about 400 acres up there. So this continues our fire prevention efforts, and it goes a long ways towards fire thinning, but also provides a benefit to the watershed as a whole, because as you know, those really small trees, they do take up a lot of water. So this is a continuation of that. We did send out RFPs to a variety of different tree contractors, and we broke down the tree removal areas into specific kind of geographic areas, and each contractor could bid on one or more of them. So we have shown that we are selecting 4 operators: Jensen's Tree Care, Black Dog Enterprise, Loggers Unlimited, and Frank Dial Logging. And for this particular budget year, we will require a small budget amendment in the amount of $67,000 to offset. So even when something is grant funding, so we put grant funding in as a revenue in the budget, and then we still have to do it as an expense as well. And these grants are done on a reimbursement basis.
Mhm.
So that I'll answer any questions.
I'm impressed by the differential
Yeah.
from each of them on different zones. So how hard was it for us to break them into zones, and can we do that in the future? Because it's very impressive, the differential for each zone.
I think that they try to look at access type of tree removals. What are any hazards that are around? There are some contractors that are better at working next to, say, infrastructure without damaging it, or within campgrounds, where others are more well suited to kind of blowing and going. So that's how we break those down. And it also has to do with what equipment and labor that they have. This is a fairly labor intensive project. So
Okay, well, that's impressive, and I commend that, and I suggest we do that as much as we can in the future because of the savings that company A bid very low in this one and everyone else bid very high. The same company A bid very high in a different one. The other companies bid very low. So we were able to actually, it appears that,
Instead of a sole source provider, right?
well, not just sole source, but winner take all.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, if winner took all, I think we would see a much higher number here.
I agree.
you'd also see this go multiple years. So we
Okay.
definitely, on these larger logging projects, we do like to break them up so we can get in and out of there.
yeah, see, I noticed that you're gonna complete it by October 15th. That's really,
Yeah, that's motoring.
that's motor and that's getting going here, which is great to get that done. Yeah. Rich, did you have? a
Well,
question?
to Earl's point, you're right on, but also why the discrepancy between them? Some are double what others are.
Some people are just more comfortable with specific than others. Some are more highly specialized.
And so we're identifying.
We work with all of these loggers quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Okay. And then, so the grant is how much? 1 point?
Yeah, so this pays for about 65% of the
That's
project
what-
cost, the
okay.
grant does.
All right. Just-
Great.
And this was not a required,
No, every year in the annual budget, we put in funds for hazardous tree removal and wildfire prevention. And this is a continuation of our effort to from a long-term perspective, protect our water supply and our infrastructure. So we just need a little bit more funds this cycle. We didn't put enough in for the scope of this project.
So and I can get a definition of what funds can be used for wildfire prevention.
Any funds can be.
Whatever. the board approves.
Fire hydrants on the backbone extension.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
you almost got me on that one, but I caught
Snuck it in there.
myself.
He did.
Yeah.
That was a very good sneak there, Rich.
That was pretty creative.
It was creative.
Well, but I also think I mean, I personally would rather spend money there also.
Is that
in the
technically
future years.
watershed?
Yeah, so
It is.
Watershed.
this is
It is.
large scale wildfire prevention. If I'll just make a reminder to everybody, the fire hydrant system on a treated water system is not intended to fight wildfires.
That's right.
You good point.
That's right. It's not a watershed thing.
But it
Okay.
would stop a small one.
I do have a comment.
Yes, please.
So I appreciate that we're doing the work up in the high country, and I think that's really useful. There's not a provision, or I don't see a provision for maintenance of this, and that's
Good point.
throughout, and it's not isolated to this agency. There's local projects where we've done shaded fuel breaks, and I've been paying attention, been a little bit in this business for 20 odd years. And there's almost never a provision for maintaining these. I can point to examples in our county of multi-million-dollar projects that 5 years later, you can't tell anything was done.
Mhm.
So it's nice to do the initial, and when we take the initial pictures right when the work is done, it's great. But if we don't have some kind of maintenance, and maybe that's not funded through the grants, but just being aware that if we have to revisit this every 5 years, it's going to cost us a lot more than if we maintain these projects in the future. And if we just have some kind of a plan to keep up with them. And I just want to
You're
make
right.
that little comment that if we keep up with it, then we don't have to do the giant projects. But I do appreciate that we're doing the work.
Yeah, that's a great comment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Really good comment.
And so you're advocating for come back every 5 years.
3 years.
I'm saying any kind of a maintenance
Maintenance
project
program.
so that we don't have to revisit, because
Yeah.
if it's ladder fuels, even in shaded fuel breaks, ladder fuels come back
Very quickly.
immediately.
Yeah.
The Ponderosa shaded fuel break is a great example that you can't tell any work was done there. And that was millions of dollars.
And we have been looking at a forestry management plan. I'm not sure what stage in development it is, but I think that would address your concern.
When Greg and I met with the Alex Kibble-Toll, who's OES, one of our points was ranchers and farmers in Nevada County do this for free. They're always maintaining their property and keeping the ladder fuels down,
Mhm.
keep grazing it off. I know that area that I'm opening up to grazing by thinning it out a little bit. Just 2 years ago, we got to go back in and do more,
Mhm.
just to keep it. But that isn't an expense by anybody but the landowner, but it makes our place fire safe.
Mhm. Really good comment.
Thank you.
And that's it. If we don't have no further questions, we request consideration of the proposed resolution.
Do we have a motion?
If I can read this correctly, I'll make a motion to authorize an amendment to the FY fiscal year 2025 capital budget in the amount of 67,000 and award contracts for the project number 2684 Upper Yuba Headwaters Restoration.
Yeah, we'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Secretary, please call the roll. Oh, well, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Public comment?
Okay, is there anyone in the public that would like to comment on this matter? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Please call the roll.
Thank you.
Thank-
Division 5,
Yes.
Division 4,
Yes.
Division 3,
Aye.
Division 1.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you very much. All right, we will move to our general manager's report.
We are prepared to provide a very brief update on our water supply and the ongoing repairs being completed by PG&E at Spalding.
Good morning, Board. Chip Close, Director of Water Operations. Got a few slides for you this morning. We're going to jump right in as soon as the clicker decides to work. Okay.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry. I thought I had this off.
Ruben calling.
No. Please excuse me, everyone. It's violating my own rule.
Okay, so here we are for our Bowman Lake Station precipitation reporting station. We started a new water year, so it says 0. Check it out. We're at 100% of average. Really proud of that.
Yeah.
We worked hard at that. There it is. We did finish out last year at 68.17 inches, so just a hair below average. Really a pretty good year. Next slide, please, Chris.
Chip, I have a question on that.
Yeah.
So, but when rain comes in a very intense way,
Yeah.
do we tend to collect more of it? Rather than if that
Depends.
68 inches was inch a day.
You know, it all depends on the time of year, the hydrology we're experiencing. Sometimes the ground's dry. Those first couple rains, we hardly get any runoff. After that, it really picks up. Keeping in mind also at Bowman, there's a mix between rain and snow. So it just depends on the particular storm we get. Okay, perfect. NID reservoir storage, looking pretty good. 103% of the 11-year average at 238,000 acre feet. And as we have talked in previous meetings, this is great at the upper reservoirs, but the lower reservoirs are suffering due to the PG&E outage. And here's what you can see. Here's Scotts Flat Reservoir. The red line is what we forecasted it to be this year. The green line is what it was last year. The darker turquoise line there is where we actually are. So we're doing pretty good. We're a little better than we forecasted, and we're a little bit better than last year as well. And there's some good news here. This is the trending line of Scotts Flat. And you can see it was left side of your screen, it was diving pretty hard. Towards the right hand of your screen, it starts to flatten out a little bit. It changed trajectory there. And that's because PG&E actually got us some water. And I'll get into more of that detail here in just a second.
Chip,
Yeah.
if you could go back, that looks pretty onerous to me. It's like,
It should.
okay. Well, and of course, the numbers
It's
on it
dropping.
are so tiny that I can't see them. And
They are, and I knew it would be that small, but I just kind of wanted to give you an overview of things have changed a little bit. And when we get to Rollins, this will make a little more sense to you.
well, what are the numbers? I mean, if you wouldn't mind. So it's
Very
spread out
small. That's what they are.
I mean,
They're not really legible, and they won't mean much to you. 'Cause
Oh, they
just
won't.
elevations of reservoir. So it's hard to correlate that to.
Oh,
the
you don't,
general
to
public.
water. This doesn't correlate to water.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
I just mainly put this up here to show you the trend line and that it's not as diving as fast as it once was. And that's because we got a little bit of flow, and we'll get into that here in just a second.
Okay, thank you.
Rollins Reservoir, very much the same scenario here. We had the previous years, that red dotted line that went as low as you can see there, the lowest line. That was where we thought we might be in a worst case scenario. We're fortunate enough that we're not in that scenario anymore. And the turquoise line there about halfway down the chart is where we actually are. We're actually doing okay there too. It looks really bad if you go out there, I will tell you that.
Yeah, it
much.
does.
So as of right now, we're at about 42,000 acre feet.
Mhm.
Last year, we bottomed out at 39,000 acre feet. So we're pretty close to where we were last year. The good news is here's that same graph for Rollins. And as you can see at the bottom right of that screen, PG&E is now testing horns, and we're the recipient of those flows. And so Rollins has actually started flatlining. It's bouncing a bit as PG&E is doing their work, but the good news is it's no longer dropping like it once was. So a little bit more detail on that. On the July 4th weekend, PG&E filled up that tunnel that supplied Spalding 2 and Horn A and B. They got us a little bit of flow into the South Yuba Canal. We were greatly appreciative of that, and that's what affected the Scotts Flat graph. A few days later, they went to open the valves to Horn A and B, and they had some issues. They were able to get Horn A operating. Horn B was still broke. So what they did is they cracked open Horn A. They ran it through a series of tests, which flows were all over the place, but at least we were getting some water. And then they had to get a game plan in to fix Horn B. They did so last Friday. And so now both horns are functional, but they are now testing Horn B. So we're very close to having full flows available on both halves. They are on target to hit that August 2nd full flow date. I think it's going to happen before that. So that's a little bit of good news in all of this.
August 8th, you said?
August 2nd.
Chip, I had a question. The previous slide, why are we a little bit better off than the forecast? People conserving more or just?
It's a number of different things. It's a little bit of conservation, but frankly, it's more that we got a little extra flow from PG&E a little earlier than was initially anticipated. And that's really what the most of it is that we had a little bit less use. That was great, but really it's about we got a little flow earlier than
It's
anticipated.
been cooler this year.
It's a lot cooler. I was gonna
It
mention,
has helped.
we're not even irrigating right now.
I've heard that from several
It was
folks.
wet this morning.
Nice.
All right, this next slide, although we're appreciative to have some water flow, this is what the flow has looked like in the South Yuba Canal. I just wanted to reflect on that and give the kudos to the employees out there who are managing this in real time. Our customers are not seeing this, and that's because our guys are juggling this 24 hours a day. So kudos to them. Kudos to PG&E to get us as much water as they can. You'll notice that in the evenings, that goes back to a flat line, and then during the days, they go back into test mode. So they're trying to get us as much as they can while they're testing these units to get them back online. So
What are the flows? Can you tell us what kind of flows we're getting?
So in Horn A, we're only getting about 300 CFS.
Mhm.
That doesn't meet the demand. Our
Right.
demand's going to be up around 400 to 600
Mhm.
CFS. They anticipate when both horns are fixed, they can go all the way up to nearly 800. Not sure that they will. That would bring Rollins up.
Mhm.
But again, that's PG&E water and not NID water. So if they wanted to fill Rollins, they could. I doubt they will take that approach. So the good news is Rollins will probably climb just a little bit, but it's not going to fill back up to what you would normally see at this time of year.
Chip, I have a question about this chart specifically.
Yes.
When the flows fluctuate like that, with pretty drastic fluctuations, is it putting mechanical stresses on the system, similar to like a giant water hammer or something?
That's a great question. So the canal itself, the South Yuba Canal, that's what this is showing. Generally, when we have fluctuation of flow like this, our crews go out and walk the entire thing to make sure there's no debris and blockage that occurred when the water dropped off. Being that these are happening in such a short time frame, what we have set the spills so that we don't have to walk it every time. And our hydro crews have been doing a good job in managing that side of it.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the good news for now. I mean, we are happy to have some flows back. We do know that they didn't quite finish all the work that they wanted to do. And we'll be asking for a little bit of an extended outage next spring. Hopefully nothing close to what we've seen in the last 2 years. So
Is this the final outage?
No,
no.
there's still the wicket gate issue at Spalding 2 and the low level outlet and the intake tower.
So
Damn
we
wickets.
anticipate this is 27.
We anticipate multiple years of ongoing outages. However, that's not unusual for us. We generally have an outage with PG&E in the springtime for about 3 weeks. We're hopeful they'll mirror that in future outages moving forward. They're not as much work as what we just went through.
So
Going back a second, I may have missed something. You said they're releasing their water, not our water. Could you explain?
Correct. So we will, now that the horns are fixed, we will be moving water from Bowman and Jackson Meadows into Spalding so that we can supply our own needs. We won't supply more than that in Rollins because quite frankly, we won't need it. PG&E has a volume in Rollins available to them. They are more than welcome to fill it. They generally do that in preparation for a fall time outage. And so we're going to leave that open to them to fill up and use it. So we are delivering as much water as is needed for our customers. Any more than that, we run the risk of spilling it later in the year and wasting it. We don't want to do that.
So if everything is equal, normal, going forward, probably next year and 27, we're not going to see the big conservation requirement that we see this year.
That's fingers crossed. We're hopeful for
Fingers
that. We're
crossed.
hopeful for a normal winter again.
Right.
If we get that, I think Rollins will fill and Scotts will recover and we'll have hopefully a semi-normal year.
Well, and PCWA will be taking water out of Rollins, or they already are?
So yes, but it's basically PG&E's water. They buy it from PCWA buys it from PG&E. But yes, you're right.
Gotcha.
I do have a follow-up question. So, the flows, we're getting 300 now, you said, roughly.
Ish, yes.
Yeah, ish. And, presuming that things go as you've described, then we would not need to do rotating canal outages or any of those kinds of measures?
Correct. I think that window has passed. I also want to thank the customers. We did have a few bobbles, especially this last Friday. PG&E had about an 8-hour outage to fix that valve,
Uh-huh.
and we were just out of water. So we had experienced a slight bobble on the Snow Mountain Canal, and probably the end of the tar got a little light.
Uh-huh.
But all that has returned, and we hope to continue full flows for our customer base from here forward.
Yeah, the tar got a little light, but it still was manageable,
Good to hear.
as far as I saw.
That's what we hoped for. We were contemplating a full mailing and an outage, but we knew the water would somewhat catch itself. So
Mhm.
Are we still having to pump out of the DS canal?
I think we turned off pumps yesterday. But keep in mind, we've been running pumps a little bit longer to try to buffer the
Mhm.
challenging flows we're getting right now. So we are going to experience a little bit more PG&E costs this year because of all that.
Are those pumps going to need a lot of R&R?
We pulled them all out last year and did some R&R on them in preparation for what was coming this year. So yes, that's a lot of wear and tear on pumps we don't normally use.
Yeah, they don't last forever.
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully that gives you the latest update on PG&E. As far as the rest of the Northern California reservoirs, really great shape. Everything's at 100% of average for this time of year. So looking pretty good. The drought monitor is kind of funny. It shows Placer County encroaching into abnormally dry, as well as parts of Nevada County. That always looks alarming, but I actually read what yellow means on this map. Here's what it means. Active fire season begins. Well, that's a no-brainer. Dry land crop germination is stunted, soil is dry, winter resort and visitation is low, dry land pasture growth is stunted, producers should start irrigating. So yeah, not a shocker there. That's
One quick it's not pertaining to this, but I got a hold of a book from 1955 about the Yuba floods. That Yuba Feather River complex was designed to accommodate 276,000 acre feet. During the flood, 386,000 acre feet was going through Marysville and Yuba City. Imagine that. That's
impressive flow.
almost 800,000 acre feet in a day. It's just unbelievable.
Lots of water.
Lots of water. Now Oroville Dam's been built,
Mhm.
new billiards bar has been built, but still, they only have a few days of buffer there if something like that happens again.
Yep. Okay, the monthly temperature outlook for August shows us being leaning above average for August. So far, it's been a great summer though, so I don't know if I want to believe that. And then the monthly precipitation is basically 50-50 for California. That's good news. The seasonal drought outlook for the entire United States shows the western half is persistent in drought with the exception of Northern California, so that's good. And conservation, we've been asking for folks to cut back. I don't know that we hit it as hard as we did last year. And I think that's reflected a little bit in the treated water usage. It's basically on par with our 13-year average, which is okay. We've had a lot more customers in the last 13 years. So to be at the same usage rate as 13 years ago shows some conservation. But again, it's not 20% what we were hoping for. But hopefully now that we have some water supply back, we can put some of this behind us. And at some point when we feel comfortable, we'll come back to this body with the emergency resolution. We'll talk about next steps.
Chip, I have a question that's unrelated-ish. It's at least as related as Rich's question. It's My water this year's been trashier than it's ever been. And what, is that because of the low? It's trashier than last year. And I mean, just debris. I'm cleaning screens twice a day.
We
I
are,
didn't used to have to do that.
yeah, fluctuations. I also noticed a little bit more turbidity in the canals this year as well. And that's leaning towards fluctuations. So as the canal drops, stuff sloughs in. As it picks back up again, we pull all that
Even
debris
getting
in.
leaves and stuff that I wouldn't get this time of year.
Interesting. I'll check in with the team, see if we have a better answer for that, but I have
I think
noticed,
there's a landscaper upstream from me that's just dumping it in there or something.
believe it or not, we have seen that.
Oh, no, I'm sure.
Grass clippings and all. Whoops.
Yeah,
I'm seeing, I'm having to clean screens more often this year too.
Yeah.
Last year I didn't clean them hardly at all. This year,
Okay.
week, it's every twice.
Yeah, and we are running those really low, really tight. I think that those changes in elevations on a continuous basis are helping
Okay.
bring debris down. But
Not a
I'll check in
complaint,
with
It's
the
just a
team.
comment. It's, the water's getting there. It's just,
Yep.
it's a chore.
The water here is so much cleaner in the valley. It's the third year now that the fires have just trashed up the whole system, and even sand media filters are flushing every 10 minutes or so.
Wow.
It's just so trashy down there.
Crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jen. Is there anything further? Okay, dokey. So we'll move to Board of Directors items and reports.
Good.
Earl,
No
any
report
report?
this time.
Rich?
I just want to point out that to Brad's point about shaded fuel breaks and having to go back in all the time, NID does that all the time on our canals. They're basically shaded fuel breaks. And we maintain them, and I think we do a hell of a good job on our 475 miles.
Thank you. Brad, any report from you?
I just, I've been paying attention to the fires. I'm a little bit in the fire business and, we're a slow fire season for big fires, but I've noticed that a lot of these smaller fires, Cal Fire's doing a spectacular job. And that's
Boy, no kidding.
outside of our scope, right? But what is inside of our scope is a lot of these smaller fires, especially in Lincoln area and even locally, they're stopping when they bump up to a green belt and they're catching these fires at green belts. And so I just want to point out the value of agriculture and irrigated lands and protecting the entirety of the community.
Mhm.
Just I've been paying attention to that, and it's pretty way to go on supplying irrigated water for agriculture. So
Right, yay, NID.
that's a
Yeah,
a benefit
yay,
to the
NID.
community that we don't
You
always
bet.
appreciate.
Bet.
So
And then I do not have a report. So with that, we will take any public comment on items to be considered in closed session.
I do not expect a reportable action.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, seeing none, we will we will adjourn for our closed session. Thank you.